Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to this podcast. I'm Dan Ashendorf, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most fun and rewarding aspects to our career as marketers, and that's to do with content marketing. So this is basically when we produce content, be it videos, infographics, images, interviews, ebooks, any sort of content with a view to pulling people towards our digital assets. So blogs, books, products, software, that kind of thing, just pulling people towards it. So the idea is that we produce that content and people find it, they think we're pretty cool, and then they want to learn more, and then they find us online because, as you know, online is competitive. So how do we get stood out from the crowd? One of the ways is by producing amazing content. Now this works on a number of ways. It generates traffic, it builds our reputation, and it's a very fulfilling thing to do. So that's the theory side of it. But what I see in practice is that a lot of people, all they do is they just share other people's content. So they think that they're either not talented enough to create their own content, or maybe they think that if they were to create their own content, it wouldn't be as good as the original author. So what you see online is a lot of people just borrowing other people's content and then publishing it on their own assets, their blogs and such like. They're not hiding the fact that they're repurposing someone else's content. They're giving them the attribution and everything else, but all they're doing is just sharing someone else's post. For example, they might be adding a little bit of wordage around it, like a little bit of commentary around it, but all they're doing is sharing other people's content. Now that's okay, but here's the deal. That's a really poor substitute to creating your own content, because it just comes across as a little bit weak, and it also says to the people who see that content that you don't really hold a position with regards to that niche. So you don't have your own thoughts or opinions, you're not opinionated, and in order to stand out in a really busy environment, which is the online space, people like that kind of thing. They like people to have opinions, they like people to bring value and have real insight, which unfortunately is lacking when all you're doing is just sharing someone else's post. So what I want to do in the next few minutes is just give you 3 ways to start creating your own content. Now there are many more ways than this, but this is a good place to start, and trust me, this is going to really catapult you from another wannabe onto someone who actually takes a stand, has opinions, has insight, and someone who people might even be willing to pay for their content, their time and such like. So let's begin. Step number 1 is you need to be steeped in your niche. What I mean by this is you need to be living, breathing that niche, because that's really the only way that you will know it. It's the only way that you will have opinions, insights and everything else that people congregate around. People are willing to pay for that kind of thing. And there is no doubt that the people who've made it big in the content world, be it authors or anything like this, marketers, they have their own opinions and insights about their niche, and it could be any niche. But because they live and breathe that niche, they love what they do, they trial it, they talk about it, they think about it, they create content about it, they just have that level of insight that people get drawn towards. And I do that with my niche, Make Money Online niche and the health niche. Ever since I had COVID 6 months ago, I've really got into the health niche in a big way, and I just live and breathe that stuff. I mean, this conversation I'm having at the moment, this podcast, that's exactly what it is. It's just a thought that I have. It's my own insight. I'm not borrowing anyone else's content here. So this is what it's about. So step number 1 is you need to be steeped in your niche. Step number 2 is write something else that possibly someone else has shared in your own words. So there's lots of opinions, lots of insights out there. So what I'd recommend to do is, unless you can come up with original ideas, what you do is you find other people who have commented on your niche, and then you just rewrite or repurpose or re-video what they've said, but in your own words. And if you want to give attribution, that's absolutely fine. But the value that you've given is so much greater when you put it in your own words. So by all means, repurpose other people's content. And as I said, if you want to give it attribution, that's absolutely fine, but it needs to be in your own words. And step number 3 is, when you repurpose it, just make it your own. So go to Fiverr, get some graphics, get some images, get a thumbnail done, but repurpose it, repackage it to make it look nice, original, have your branding on it, have your stamp on it, and that's going to really give it that little bit of acceleration, that little bit of zing that you require in order to make yourself a content marketer that people want to listen to. So hopefully, boys and girls, that makes sense. You find some value. Looking forward to speaking to you at the next one. I'm Dan Aschendorf. Take care now. Have a blessed, lovely day. All the best. Bye.